Trump's campaign says the former president is doing fine. This morning, we are getting our first look at the suspected gunman and learning new details on the shooting.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo joining us live here in studio with new details about the gun and other potential weapons that this guy had prepared.
Yeah, FBI has been doing this investigation all night long and apparently found some new information, found some new items potentially in his car. We're learning about these items of concern, as authorities call it, potential explosives that were found inside the suspect's car, which was parked just outside the rally. This information confirmed by law enforcement sources to ABC News. We also now know the gun that was used in this shooting yesterday was purchased legally by the suspect's father. The picture now becoming more clear of the timeline of events and how they unfolded yesterday, but the motivation behind the shooting is still unclear.
Federal agents still at the Pennsylvania home of the 20-year-old gunman after spending the night there trying to learn more about why he would try to kill former President Trump. Investigators confirming to ABC News they believe this screenshot shows the suspect, Thomas Michael Crooks, receiving his high school diploma as part of their probe. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News Crooks acted alone, used an AR-style rifle, and according to voting records was a registered Republican. But beyond that, federal investigators haven't released many details about a possible motive for opening fire at Saturday's rally. You could hear those gunshots as Trump grabs his ear and quickly ducks behind the podium. Witnesses describe at least half a dozen shots fired in quick succession, stunning supporters at the packed rally.
It was pop, pop. I heard 6 to 8 shots. And there were some other people who had some military backgrounds, like, get down, those are shots, and we all hit the deck.
Trump saying he was shot in the ear. You could see blood on his face as he's swarmed by Secret Service, surrounding him and rushing him off stage. A defiant Donald Trump, though, pushing past those Secret Service agents to raise his fist to the crowd, yelling, "Fight," an image already being shared by Republicans as a rallying cry 3 months before the election. 3 other people were shot, 1 man died, and 2 others were critically injured. Secret Service killing the suspected shooter, who was positioned on a roof about 450 feet away from the stage. People at the rally even saw the gunman army crawling with a gun on the roof moments before he opened fire. The former president and presumptive Republican nominee has a full Secret Service detail who secures the area before each rally, but clearly fell short at this event.
There's going to be a long investigation into exactly what took place and how the individual was able to get access to the location, what type of weapon he had, all that. It is really days, weeks, and months of investigation.
Several hours after the shooting, President Biden privately called former President Trump and publicly denounced the attack.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country.
Now, Trump, in a statement this morning from his home in New Jersey, said that he was grateful for all the support, the prayers and thoughts that have been sent in by folks, also sending his prayers to the family of the person who was killed and those 2 other people who were injured yesterday afternoon. Also mentioning in that statement that he looks forward to getting in front of the crowd and talking about what happened this weekend to the folks in Wisconsin. So it appears the RNC, which starts tomorrow in Milwaukee, guys, is going to go on as planned, although we do know Secret Service is kind of looking at plans to see if there's any changes they need to make when it comes to security.
And certainly a different type of event, going to be indoors, not open to the public. That being said, focusing here on the suspect, so much more information coming up about him. And initially, almost immediately, some people pointing to political motivation, but we're learning that may not be the case.
It's easy to go that route, of course, if you're taking a shot, physical shot like he did at President Trump, former President Trump. It seems like you don't like him or you don't like the Republican Party. Not so fast on that. I think a lot of investigators will say you follow the evidence. So far, we haven't seen anything come out from FBI specifically about what they found in previous mass shootings. You typically see manifestos, maybe posts online, writings. FBI has not said that there's been anything like this. Interesting note, I mentioned it in the piece there. He's a registered Republican. Take that with a grain of salt, though. He's 20 years old, meaning he hasn't voted in a presidential election to this point. But by the letter of the law, by how he is registered, he is a Republican in this case. It might not mean a lot. It may mean a lot, but obviously we got to wait till the federal investigators kind of get through that evidence to figure out exactly what they have to find the motivation and what led up to yesterday's shooting.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, and Roku to watch on your TV.